You're looking at the only VCR that was ever nationally recognized by a movie director. That movie director being Steven Spielberg. That's because this is a JVC Super VHS ET VCR. That's right, ET stands for extraterrestrial, and this VCR had the capability of receiving and transmitting signals into outer space. It's really cool. But beyond that capability, it had the ability to give you higher resolution on VCR tapes. In fact, the ET part of it gives you Super VHS or near Super VHS quality on regular VHS tapes. And then, of course, if you had a Super VHS tape, you could get 420 lines of outstanding resolution compared to VHS's regular 240 lines of resolution. So what I've got here is I've got a couple of tapes to show you. I've got a regular VHS tape here, and then I found this digital S tape. And what I did is I modified it so that I could make it work in this S-VHS VCR. I've had this tape for quite some time, just didn't really know what to do with it. And of course, Digital S is a broadcasting feature of VHS. And I modified this tape in two ways to make it work with this VCR. First, there was a little, like a little gate right here, like a little bar kind of thing, plastic bar. I ripped that out, and then I drilled a hole right here in the spot where the machine looks to see if the tape is S-VHS. Isn't that a nice clean hole right there? Did a good job, didn't I? So basically, when I put this tape into the VCR, it thinks it's Super VHS, and I think the tape formulation is good enough that it looks pretty impressive. So let's go ahead and just see the machine in action first before we do our test recordings. And we'll go ahead and zoom in here to the innards of the unit so you can see that. Here's your tape head here and your capstan and flywheel right here. You've got, actually your pinch roller, sorry. The flywheel's underneath the capstan. Let's see, we've got our supply spindle and our take-up spindle. We've got our tuner unit over here on this side. And let's see, as far as on the jack panel, this is a hi-fi stereo VHS VCR. So it does have S-video input and output on the back, and is regular composite video in and out as well. So not much else exciting about that. Some of these models from JVC actually had an S-VHS input or an S-video input here on the front. And that would separate the Y and the C, the luminance and chrominance signals, and give you a little bit better quality. And I'll show you the monitor we're going to be using here. I think you'll like it. But so let's go ahead and put this regular VHS tape in and see her spin up here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rewind the tape. So you can see that it has the ability to start out slow. So it starts rewinding slow, and then it'll kick into high gear here. So it's actually taking really good care of your tapes by handling them with gentleness and respect. Now, what I don't like about this VCR is the fact that the tape is always in connection to the video head there. And in my opinion, it would be better to pull that tape back away from the video head when doing fast rewind. But I guess they did that for the sake of speed. So that way, when you hit play from fast forward or rewind, that it would start instantaneously. And you'll see that it does. So now it has slowed down, and it's just going to take its time here until it gets to the leader, which it will detect with a little beam of light that is shot through the tape to a little CDS cell on the side. So once it detects it, it goes ahead and pulls enough tape forward so that it's ready to go. So there is what that looks like. Let's go ahead and eject it just for fun. See how it unwinds the tape. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and make our first test recording. I'm going to use as our signal, I'm going to use over-the-air HD signal to record on. And what I've done here is I have modified a 1953 Muntz television so that it has a higher quality color television on the inside. So all the guts have been replaced. I kept the guts, the original ones, for this television, but I've replaced them with modern electronics. Now you can't really tell that by looking at it, can you? Because we're watching I Love Lucy. But if I go ahead and change the channel to something that's color, you'll see that this old TV has color on it. Isn't that something? So that was kind of a cool thing to do, just to be able to watch television here in my room and watch it in color. Cartoons are always a really good way of seeing resolution. So let's go ahead and just use this cartoon here as our signal. And I'm going to go ahead and set the VCR or the camera up here. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a regular VHS tape first. And let's make a quick recording. And you can see what that looks like. So hitting record is really easy, or to record is really easy. On the front of the VCR, you just simply hit the record button and off it goes. Now this VCR also has a real-time counter on the front, so you'll see that it is showing minutes and seconds there on the front display. All right, I'm not going to use any audio here, just simply because of I don't want to get smacked in the head for copyright, so we'll just look at this and see how beautiful it is. All right, so there's our 30-second recording of a over-the-air digital signal. Of course, it's down converted to composite video input. This VCR also has the ability to show you where you are on the tape, as you saw there. That's the little tape counter there on the screen. Shows you where you are in the process. All right. It has digital video calibration, so it automatically sets the tracking. So this is our recording that we made. And sorry guys, I don't have the ability to hook this VCR directly into my camera so that you can really see the resolution. We're just going to have to take the word for it here of the TV. Maybe someday I'll get some kind of a signal input for my iPhone so that I can run signals in. All right, so there you go. That was a regular VHS signal right there. Now we're going to go ahead and put in our digital S tape, our D64, all right, DS64 digital S D421. Let's throw that in there. Now normally you would not be able to put that tape in this VCR because of that little bar I showed you, or at least the presence of a little bar. All right, so let's go ahead and hit record on that. So we are now recording active video calibration. Okay, so it's going to do a little tweaking to the bias, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of a cool thing. So again, here is our color video signal coming through. It looks really nice and sharp. Unfortunately, I've forgotten what kind of TV I put in the back of this thing. I think I paid $5 for the TV that I got at a thrift store, and it just happened to slide in there. I had to take the back off of the television, but the front face or the front bezel of the TV was still in there, and then I had to put a piece of wood underneath to prop it up so that it would set against the mask that's inside there. There's actually a plastic mask that goes around the inside perimeter of the screen there. All right, so let's go ahead and rewind that, and you can tell me if you think this S-VHS tape quality is any better. Okay, again, we're looking at the digital signal directly over the air at this point. And here's our S-VHS recording. Now, if this VCR had flying erase heads, you would not be seeing that flash right there. That is an old video signal that's on the tape, and it's riding over the top of it and causes that little rainbow effect to appear on there. And in fact, it could be, because I've already recorded on this tape, that the VCR doesn't have enough ability to erase this tape. So let's go ahead and fast forward it. I'll show you where I recorded earlier. And maybe it won't have that rainbow on it. There we go. So apparently that tape has such a high amount of oxide or whatever in it that it wasn't able to completely erase it. So this is the tape recorded yesterday. I believe I made this test tape. And you can see that it looks really nice and sharp. And to my knowledge, there was only a couple of studio movies that were introduced on S-VHS, and they're extremely rare to find them. And I think it was like Hunt for Red October, one of the Indiana Jones movies, and Terminator 2 were titles that were introduced in the S-VHS format. But again, I don't even know how people got them. I don't know if they got them like bundled with the VCR or what exactly. Now you can see there's some dropouts on there, and I don't know if that could be because of the tape has been recorded over so much, or because of the capability of the VCR to record on this formulation of tape. I honestly don't know what the formulation of this digital S tape is. I'd have to look it up. But it looks really sharp. Looks really nice, right? So let's look at our other one again. We'll pop our first version of, what is that, Bob the Builder you were watching there? So let's throw in our first recording of Bob the Builder. Maybe you can see the difference here. Rewind it here. This is the same tape I used in that time-lapse VCR that you can see on my channel as well. So yeah, you can tell that the reds especially don't look as good, but along the lines, the sharp lines that you see on the screen don't quite look as sharp as the other recording did. But I never was happy with VHS tape. I had a VCR just like this almost back in the day. When I was in my mid-20s, I had a VCR like this. And I would record weddings, and I would use high 8 tape to record on as my master. And then I would use an S-VHS VCR. And I know the VCR I had was a better one than this one, simply because mine had two features that this one doesn't have. It had the flying erase head, and it also had a very strange feature. When you would fast forward a tape, like doing the search forward or search in reverse, it would play little snippets of audio as you were fast forwarding and rewinding, which I thought that was a very strange feature. I eventually turned it off because it was kind of annoying. You would just hear just little blips of sound. It didn't speed up the sound or slow down the sound. It just gave you little clips or excerpts of the audio as you were fast forwarding. It was kind of strange. So all this worrying and stuff, hurrying and fast forwarding is going on the screen, and you're hearing normal little clips of the audio. So I guess it took little samples of it as it was going. Quite odd. So let's look at what that digital S tape looks like in there. Just thought you might want to see that. There was another format. Actually, there's two more formats of VHS you may or may not know about. There was WVHS, which was an analog high-definition format, and then there was DVHS, which was a high-definition digital format, all used on the same width of tape and in the same shell of tape as well. So there's a little bit about DVHS on my channel, and I do have a VCR on my channel that I repaired. DVHS machine. Show you how to replace the caps in it. And there's another one that I recorded, and I think it looks like it was recorded in 8mm film, but it really wasn't. And I touch a little bit on DVHS in that video. And then there's a little trailer, I don't know, 5-6 minute trailer about DVHS on my channel, if you want to check that out. So here we go. We're going like super ultra fast on fast forward. And again, it's kind of a bummer that the tape rubs up against the video head the whole time. The video head being that part right there, in case I didn't say that earlier. You've got your analog audio and tracking signal coming from this here, your sync signal that comes off the bottom edge of the tape. That head is right there. Here's your erase head right here. And VCRs are fun to work on, even though the display quality of the video is awful in comparison to most anything you'd see nowadays. But they are fun to play with, especially mechanics-wise. Most VCRs just need cleaning and some belts. Sometimes they need a belt replaced. This one has a belt over here on the side. I don't know if you can see it there. There's a belt right here for the loading mechanism, which is pretty common. And then there's usually one on the bottom as well. So, and that typically drives the flywheel that I mentioned earlier. So anyway, I think I've gone long enough on this guy, but this is a nice VCR. I didn't have to do anything to it to fix it, make it work. So if you find one of these, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. If you'd like to see how I restored this old Muntz TV, not into a color television, I actually haven't shared that information, but there is a video on my channel that talks about how I went through. In fact, that video was my first introduction to making videos on YouTube, was making a video about how I restored this television. So again, it's not really supposed to have a color TV inside, but it sure is kind of fun to sit around and watch stuff on it. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please share this with a friend. Please see, if you're interested in VCRs, again, check out my channel. I got a whole bunch of them on there. Please share, subscribe, and leave a comment below or click that like button. Thank you for watching.